I've booked it. Okay, so this is officially the most expensive trip I've ever booked. After uni, I went to Thailand and I booked a last minute flight to Thailand for £600, which was actually quite a lot back then because it was in 2008. And I probably could have got cheaper because the second time I went, which was like a year or two later, a year later, I paid about 400 because I booked a bit in advance. But anyway, so this was 800, well, it was supposed to be 820, and then at last minute it seemed to jump up to 880, and I didn't press any extras, so I don't know why it suddenly jumped up. But I did press the button of refundable, which I'm sure the two numbers looked exactly the same, but maybe they weren't. Maybe I just didn't see it correctly. But yeah, it means that if you do show up, I do get an 80% refund on it. But yeah, I've been waiting 9 years for you to show, for the people who know about me to show up at my door. It's not happened, and I'm giving up on the possibility that it might happen. So actually, I've given up on the possibility it might happen years ago, and then it got sparked off by a guy who I seemed to really, really like, genuinely like at the time, and I had no idea why, because yeah, there was nothing like particularly interesting about it. Like his intellect wasn't great, but it was okay. But yeah, it was just like kind of an average human. But anyway, I yeah, I'm going to go to Los Angeles. Yay! I've been I've been lying in bed way too long, and it's really depressing just doing nothing. And okay, I'm watching films and stuff, but that's not really, if all you do all day is watch two films, you just feel like you've done nothing all day, which is how I feel. So I'm going to go to Los Angeles on the 15th. I think I get there the next day because it takes a long time to get there because I go to Dublin first and then to New York and then do a swap over. And yeah, the guy who took me to the spa the other day said he could get me a cheap flight, and he thought could probably get it for about 600. But then he also admitted that was before the price of petrol went up, and that was like 2 years ago that he did that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that 600 is probably an impossible number. But anyway, I've spent like 20,000 on my extension, and if something is about to happen soon, I'm probably going to move house, and the money that's spent on that was pretty much wasted. So what's at least if I get to, like, I didn't want to spend, I wouldn't have ever considered going to Los Angeles for that price because it's just really expensive. And yeah, for that amount, for only the flight, it's going to cost more when I stay there. So we're probably looking at about £2,000 in total for the trip, and I wouldn't have spent that unless I thought it was really urgent. And well, I'm kind of I'm seeing lots of, I feel like I'm connecting and with a lot of the music industry and film, and well, that is where I obviously need to be. So I'm going to go there for just under 3 weeks, and I've booked a visa, and it says the visa will take 2 weeks to come through. Even the visa is £100 just for a visa. The one to Egypt is 20 quid, and this one's 100. But okay, it's worth it. It's 100 times better than Egypt. So um, yeah, I'm gonna go there, and hopefully I can get myself out of bed. I think I just feel tired just because there's literally nothing to do. I think that's why. Well, I feel spiritually drained, yes, but when you feel spiritually drained and there's nothing to do, it makes it worse because you just feel like, what am I supposed to do? And then you think, okay, well, I can just move from the bed to the sofa, back to the bed, back to the sofa, and then that's, if that's your only option and you feel tired, it's just really bad. Whereas if you go to a new place, somewhere you haven't been, you can kind of like snap yourself out of this and just be like, no, I've got things to do. I can go and look at this, I can see this, and I haven't been here before. And I think that's what I'm needing in my life. And yes, it's expensive, but then also not working is expensive. And right now I can't work because all the clients that I see don't believe that I'm God. And I had someone show up yesterday wanting to, I don't know, but he said he would bring a box of chocolates. So I was like, okay, of course you can come. But yeah, he's invited me on a date. But I was watching Carrie at the time, and he came in halfway through, and he kind of said, I think you have powers. Do you have powers? And I said, of course I do. And then he waited like 2 minutes and said, you're actually kind of scaring me. Should I leave now? Like, if the thought of me having powers makes you want to leave my house, then I just feel like you don't know, like, any of it. You don't know any of the power that I have. You know, the power that the telekinesis power. Okay, that was a physical power. So it's something you can actually show for it. Whereas to inspire all things, or to have something inside of you that seems to be going back and forth time. Okay, it's a far greater power than just to be able to move things with your mind. The problem is it's a lot more harder to prove, um, unless you actually bother to watch these films and then see what's going on in my life, and then be like, yeah, okay, I can see the connections that are happening. But yeah, if you don't have the mind or the willpower to bother to look, then it's not going to be, you're not going to be impressed by anything. And that's the situation that I was with all my clients. You can say a lot of stuff and they just don't take an interest enough to bother to look, or to bother to find out if there's truth to it. And you know, there's one client in the last 2 weeks that I have managed to, like, he's not, he hasn't come for a massage, but the one who gave me jelly babies the other day, he came back just yesterday, or I don't know, he came to talk to me for a bit. And yeah, he was a bit like surprised that there might be video cameras, or you know, some sort of tracking device in my house. And it was just like, yeah, well, if you think about it, if my goal is to halve the population, then maybe there would be some sort of device, or I don't know, cameras or something in my house, because hey, I'm doing something that might halve the population. I'm pretty sure if there was if there was a terrorist in the Middle East or whatever who was planning on doing that, I'm pretty sure there'd be a lot more than just a video camera. I don't know if there's a if someone's spying on me or watching me. I don't like the paranoid feeling of feeling like there is. So I don't think there is. But am I just saying that because I don't want to get that feeling of being paranoid feeling? I don't like the paranoid feeling that I'm being watched. But yeah, I also don't like people seeing me naked. So if you are spying on me, can you make with videos, not just sound, but if you are spying on me with videos, can you make sure it's only women who are looking? Because that would be better. But yeah, I don't know if there's cameras in my house, but with what I'm doing, it would make sense that there is, because it would prove that I'm not just, I don't know, spending hours a day looking at different music videos and then trying to just post the one or two that seem to relate to what I'm doing. In reality, I'm sleeping all day and then just looking at one or two. I've seen quite a lot of Eminem's though, but I'm not trying to post about him, because I want the post to all be about like lots of different people. So, but yeah, I I don't know what's going to happen. I'm still hoping that someone will show up at my door today and then take me off to be on a TV show to expose myself. But at the same time, I I don't hope for anything right now. I feel like if you have to do something, you have to do it yourself. And it's something that William Kale said as well. Like he was insistent in that last week that I should come down to him. Like he was thinking I was mad because of some of the things I was telling him or something. But yeah, he at the same time as feeling I'm mad and rejecting me, he was also saying, you know, don't apologize. You have to come to me. You have to come to me. He made that quite clear. And then it's strange because I went down to London and I found myself like, as soon as I got to London, my mum was like, "Got to go to Windsor, got to go to Windsor," and he actually lives kind of near Windsor, not that close to Windsor, but Strand is pretty close to Windsor. So it was kind of strange how I went to London, and yet twice during those 3-4 days, I was pulled off to Windsor, which is closer to where he is. Although I wasn't, even though I was very close to him, you know, I could have just gone down to a canal near Strand and just try to find some sort of boat with him in, which, you know, I could have done that, but my head just was like, do you actually want him? And I was still at two minds, like, do I actually want him? Yeah, no, yeah, no. And I think I wanted him because I wanted the feelings that I was getting from thinking that I liked him, because I feel like those feelings were helping to kind of inspire the Dua Lipa character, or at least start off some sort of thing that started years ago. But I feel like that was the start of it. But yeah, when in reality, and I was thinking of some of the, I don't know, just there's better people out there. There's a lot of better people out there. And so I was just thinking, do I actually want that guy? And I was just like, no, I don't. But yeah, I did, but I didn't. But yeah, I feel like in that same way, something's pulling me to go to Los Angeles. And I'm hoping, because it was quite an expensive flight. I would have said that I would never paid that much, 850 plus however much it is to stay in dormitories. I would never actually have gotten to Wales. It's just too far. But at the same time, that is the center of where all the music industries and film industries are. That's obviously where I need to be. And even if all I'm doing is inspiring things, and even if this whole £2,000 trip is just going to be a case of me getting closer to people there, then and I end up coming back, if I end up coming back and I need money, fine, I'll just take up massage again. But at least I'll know that I've tried, and I've tried to find people who know about me. And I think that's where most of the people who know about me are. So.